everybody, and welcome back to Command & Conquer 3 Kane's Wrath, and our featured matchup for the day brings us to the map Tournament Undergrounds. And spawning over on the far left-hand side as the Cyan Reaper 17, we have Space. And then sliding over to the bottom right corner, his opponent for today as the Red Vanilla Nod, we have Cyberstorm. Alright, so let's jump straight into this game. It is going to be Reaper 17 versus Nod. Not a matchup that we see all that often, so I imagine these guys probably went random v random. Typically, you're not going to be choosing those factions, particularly Reaper 17. Not fantastic on this map, but then again, we haven't seen a ton of games on here, and I've seen Reaper 17, or rather, Scrin players in general do okay, especially if they opt to go for some kind of a dev core push here. But it is going to be just 3 disintegrators out here from Space. Maybe trying to fake out Cyberstorm or look to try to kill off some squads here, but not going to be able to do so. And it looks like he's going to rally down to the south now. So neither player opting to go for the center tib spike here, so going to be playing this one safe. Also, the tib spike way up north going to be up for grabs as well. So we'll have to see if anybody goes for that a little bit later on. Space opting to keep his portal around. That's kind of interesting, especially as Reaper 17. I'm not quite sure what his plan is, but now these 3 disintegrator squads may be used to try to kill this tib spike here from Cyberstorm, and Cyberstorm is unfortunately going to have to respond to this. He does have a flame rush on the way here, has an operations center down already, but may actually be just using this time to bide his time, hoping that Space doesn't actually realize that there is a flame tank on the map. He is going to pay for this with his Tiberian spike, and the question is, will he be able to do enough damage? He's sending the flame tank up north. I think this is a mistake. I think that flame tank would have been way better use right down the middle, nobody expecting it, and Space would be way too far behind to try and stop it. Only a Seeker tank coming out now. But now we know that that flame tank is around. It's going to be a double Blackhand Reckoner as well, so a lot of money being invested in this flame rush. And we do see that Seeker tank coming forward. It looks like Seeker tank going to be trading with the flame tank. Seeker tank taking a lot of damage, and that's why it's really critical to kite these flame tanks out. That Seeker tank is going to need to be very careful here, but the Reckoner is coming in here, and it looks like the Seeker tanks are going to choose to fire on the Reckoner. A smart move as they do need to take this down. The Reckoner should be getting in here. It looks like he's trying to find the best spot for it, and that's a perfect spot. Going to be looking to maximize his damage here. The Extractor going to be getting focused down. Space dropping down a portal, going to be trying to keep his Extractor alive. An Assimilator does come out. Will he get it inside, though? Oh, I thought the Assimilator was going to get focused down, but he does get the repair. That's pretty huge. And now there is a couple of buzzers out here for Space, but not going to be focusing down these Black Hand Squads. The Black Hand Squad's not actually firing just yet. They are going to fire now. However, there is a buzzer hive down, so that should be able to clean that up. So very, very nice hold there from Space. Almost flubbed it there with the Engineer, but now he's going to be on the offensive here with 5 Seeker tanks, 5 or 6 Seeker tanks by the looks of it, as this one is very heavily damaged. But this is the problem now for Cyberstorm. He doesn't really have anything left at home to try and defend against this. Probably his only hope here would maybe to go all in. I'm not quite sure what his decision's going to be. Maybe going to be dropping a Hand of Nod. That's probably the only thing that he can really afford to pump off of right now. And it looks like it is going to be the Hand of Nod, going to be looking to get out some of those rocket squads to try and deal with this. But this is such an annoyance here for Cyberstorm. And now we have Tier 2 down for Space as well. So going to be seeing that Lightning Spike coming in. 1 Seeker tank does go down, but going to be trading out for a Harvester. So all of the Harvesters are more or less pulled off the line here. We do have 2 docked Harvesters. For the time being, it looks like the Seeker tank's trying to find the damaged Harvesters, but not going to be able to. It is Raider Buggies and Rocket Squads out to deal with these Seeker tanks, and Raider Buggies actually doing quite a bit of damage here to these Seeker tanks. They should be able to clean them up without too much trouble here. Space could have potentially pulled them back, but I can understand expending that. Whoa, actually, Space going to be sending his MCV forward here. This is risky. He does have Tier 2, so could be seeing Devourer tanks coming out here in the near future for Space, or maybe going to be seeing Corruptors. Not sure what his plan is. This is unusual. Sending his MCV forward, I'm really not sure what his plan is, but let's take a look. Flame tank down around the top side of the map. Going to be burning down one of the power plants here from Space, so he is definitely on low power. You can actually see the Nerve Center is on low power state, so Space is going to be deploying his drone ship now. Going to be probably looking to rebuild a power plant and get himself back up and underway. No, he's actually deployed. It's taking a little bit longer to build. I don't think that's a power plant. It has been spotted here by Cyberstorm. He's likely seeing that there is a very strange drone ship movement here coming in from Space, and this may signal to Cyberstorm to go all in. No, he's actually got double War Factory here, pumping off of 2 refineries, but going to be keeping that MCV around Going to be playing this one out for the longer portion of the game. Devourer tanks are out, and it looks like it was just a power plant here actually being dropped by Space. Kind of interesting that he would choose to deploy the MCV there to do that. I think maybe it would be another Warp Sphere, but it seems like he's content with just coming off of one Warp Sphere. He must be stacking cash, though, at this stage, so maybe going to be thinking of dropping a portal here to get out some infantry. But whatever that is, it's looking like it's taken a long time to build, so it's probably going to be another Warp Sphere. Anyways, the Devourer tanks in such low numbers going to be getting focused down here by Cyberstorm, so the bike's coming in and getting pretty much free kills on those Devourer tanks, despite the Devourer tanks having so much damage output. And now the MCV under pressure here from Space. He does drop a Warp Sphere on the front lines, but doesn't have any units to back this up. He's losing his drone platform here. This is very bizarre. He finally drops a portal. This probably would have been better as the first thing that he dropped. Drone platform still surviving, and it looks like the Devourer tanks coming in from Space are going to be enough to beat this force back. Cyberstorm, I think, missing a critical opportunity here to drop this drone platform, taking a huge amount of damage in return damage here as we do see that second portal coming down. But there are too many of those buzzer hives kicking around. He should be looking to sell those off. Let's take a look and see what Cyberstorm is up to in the meantime. He does still have his MCV. It is up on the top side of the map. I'm kind of surprised that he's keeping that around. Drone ship is on the move here. It is in potentially damage heavy state, as we could see the bike swing in and snipe it while it's in that flight mode. But this is a very strange game. We see a Harvester coming back from the blue Tiberium here for Cyberstorm, and more of those bikes getting focused down very easily here by this force from Space. The bike's not really what you want to be looking for in this situation, but I can understand Cyberstorm's hesitance to go for any kind of Scorpion tanks here in this game. But this is a very, very strange game indeed, and we see a refinery come down from Cyberstorm. So he's looking like he's going to try to weather the storm here as Space is continually putting pressure here. We can see the majority of the harvesting has been done on this field, although there is a little bit of TIB left on this field. But the problem is, if this game goes on for too much longer and Space isn't able to crack through Cyberstorm's base here, Cyberstorm is going to be in a fantastic position later on in the game. The double War Factory still trying to hold the line here. No, he's going to choose to sell up both War Factories. May actually opt to sell up out of this base entirely. Not quite sure. But it looks like Space is maintaining control of this base. But this is the problem, is he's going to be relying on this field, which is pretty much empty, to try and power his eco now, as he is dry at home as well. Going to be calling in that Ichor Seed now. But it's pretty late here, and it's not going to be giving a whole lot of eco. Should be looking to drop a refinery on this field here and look to steal away this Tiberium from Cyberstorm. But the problem is the longer that Cyberstorm's left alive up here at his expansion, the more time that he's got to keep himself in this game. He does have a Hand of Nod. He's pumping out some infantry to defend against the inevitable push here, which Space is now moving in. He does have a couple of Shredder turrets here to try and defend against this. It's double refinery, so we have a lot of refining capability here from Cyberstorm. And over the long period, if he's able to hold the front lines here, he's actually going to be able to mass up a lot faster than Space, and it's going to put him in a great position for the rest of the game. Again, this is a critical moment here for Space. He's got his drone ship packed up. Why is his drone ship packed up? He must think that Cyberstorm is all in, thinking that he's killing the remainder of the base here, but no, it is not. He does still have a decent number of Seeker tanks and Devourer tanks, but I don't think he's realized that Cyberstorm has this expansion here. It's a very significant expansion at this stage in the game. We see double Hand of Nod, not quite sure why they are stalling on cash here. He must be gushing cash considering the situation that he's in right now. But anyways, we do see the drone platform drop down once again. A portal comes down on the front line just to shield out the Buzzer Hive, but that Buzzer Hive is not going to be able to do anything meaningful here. Although Cyberstorm just walking into this Buzzer Hive, he does now finally target it down, but it's looking like Space going to try to use these Buzzer Hives to keep that infantry at bay and let these Devourer tanks do the work from range. Let's take a quick look and see what's going back on in the base of Space. It looks like he's continuing to long-distance harvest there. Again, he's got to get such good trades here in order for this to be worthwhile. And Cyberstorm, he's got a ton of infantry here that can just continue to play defense. We also see a disruption tower down as well. Not going to be all that effective because these Seeker tanks do have the ability to detect stealth. However, it's going to mean that he can't see exactly where the forces are when he pulls back. So a little bit of mind game coming in here from Cyberstorm, at least biding his time here, which is what he needs. And the Seeker tanks are pushing forward. They are going to get a snipe on the Hand of Nod. Cyberstorm still with no War Factory here. He's opted to go for his infantry upgrades instead. I would like to see a War Factory down, especially with double refinery at this stage in the game. He just doesn't have any production to keep units on the front lines here. He's going to be stacking cash. I'm not quite sure what he's spending it on. The drone ship is still moving forward here, still very heavily damaged. Would be good to see an assimilator come out, but it looks like it is going to be bikes here from Cyberstorm, going to be rolling across the top side of the map. Not quite sure where they came from. There must have been a War Factory dropped and then maybe sold off a little bit later. But anyways, there are bikes on the top side of the map. They're going to be coming around here, and they should be able to come in here and swing through this base, no problem. There are a couple of photon cannons that might dissuade them, but they should get a couple of harvester kills for their trouble, and that would be devastating here to space, because once that's cut off, he's going to be in such a bad position here. And now we do see the forces from space pushing forward. There's nothing here to defend. The infantry's out of position. I'm not sure why Cyberstorm is allowing this to happen. The bikes are cutting off the harvesters as they're going to the long-distance harvester route, unfortunately losing their own bike from some splash damage as the bikes spread out there at the last possible minute. But these infantry are sitting on a Tiberium field, not doing anything, just sitting back, letting space do his thing here on the front lines, perhaps respecting these buzzer hives a bit more than they need to. I think, honestly, they could just push forward and just start sniping them down. They must realize that space is not doing well economy-wise. There's still no refinery here down here on the original main of Cyberstorm. Oh, man, I think this is a missed opportunity. Now we see the Buzzer Swarm support power going to be called in here by space, going to be getting lots of kills on this infantry, and Cyberstorm just taking so many bad trades, but space continuing to lose harvester after harvester coming to this green Tiberium field. Just an awful situation here as we see only a lone harvester. No, two harvesters left here for space, but they continue running into their death. And once that eco is cut offline here for Cyberstorm, for space, it's going to be a bad situation. But Cyberstorm still not committing into this force. He's just allowing space to do what he wants. MCV was packed up momentarily, but it is going to repack itself and goes back into the construction yard state. But now the rocket squads are going to push forward. They snipe down the buzzer hives, maybe trying to win this as a battle of attrition here. But the problem is that Cyberstorm is now out of cash here, and his MCV is being pressured. The construction yard taking a lot of damage, and there's just no pressure being put on the original base of space. The bike's just continuing to camp that expansion field, but only this one harvester here from space not grabbing eco, could potentially be looking to grab some blue Tiberium. It looks like Cyberstorm is going to be doing that in the meantime, but this infantry just doesn't seem to know how to commit forward far enough to deal with these buzzer hives. The shredder turrets are drawing a lot of fire here, but again, the infantry not committing. What is this game? What is this game coming in here from Cyberstorm and space? Space on the move again with the drone ship, going to continue to press forward despite not having any eco. He must be struggling here for eco. I don't know how he's possibly powering any of this. It looks like he's floating about 1,500 credits, which might be able to get down a couple more buzzer hives, but once that's done, I don't know what he's going to be able to do here. This is not looking good here for either side, to be honest. Cyberstorm just trying to camp this one out so hard, but he's taking such bad trades in his own base where he has defender's advantage. The bike's going to be trying to snipe the remaining infrastructure around the map. It looks like they do not deal with the only harvester that's left on the map. It looks like both of the photon cannons back at base here for Cyberstorm were sold up, realizing that he's struggling on eco here. The bikes are going to come in. It doesn't look like they're ready to commit into that field. I don't think Cyberstorm has even realized that there's still a harvester there just yet. It looks like he is going to target that down now. That last harvester going to be going down. No, Cyberstorm not committing to chasing that. He's going to do that now. But again, this fight on the front lines is just so bizarre. This infantry not willing to push forward despite the fact that we see the shredder turrets drawing the fire of these buzzer hives. The MCV once again under pressure here. The laser fencing is on it, so it's going to be very tanky, but unfortunately there is just nothing here to support Cyberstorm's MCV. He needs to get this infantry into position. He needs to just start cutting down these buzzer hives. He's doing that now, but he's going to lose his MCV. He's going to lose his MCV for the trouble here. And that's all of his... Oh my god, that's his production. That is his production. Hand of Nod, the only production structure left here for Cyberstorm. I have never quite seen a game like this where this one field aggression coming in from space is enough to curb Cyberstorm, who is able to eat up 2 fields worth of Tiberium. And space not opting to go for any additional eco here. He has no refineries, no harvesters left. There is no recovery here for Space. The bike's looking for an opportunity to engage. They should be able to snipe the drone platform if they get into range. They are going to snipe the drone platform. It looks like the Devourer tank's not willing to commit back into dealing with these bikes. And once that drone platform is down, I think this is GG here for Space. Cyberstorm may have just waited him out just long enough. The drone platform does go down. The only production structure left here for Space is, in fact, the portal, which is powered down. He's going to power that back up now, realizing that he has to do something here. And now the question is this Buzzer Hive wall here from Space going to be enough to deal with this infantry wall from Cyberstorm? Oh my god, this is going to turn into a base race on the front lines here of the base of Cyberstorm. They're going to try to trade here. There is a power plant and a portal here. There is also a power plant back in the base of Space. Oh my god, is Cyberstorm going to lose this game? But the problem is if this force dies, then Space is as good as dead, because he just doesn't have anything left. The refinery is getting focused down, so that's going to mean no more production here coming out of that Hand of Nod, which is the only production structure left here for Cyberstorm. What a bizarre game, as we're going to see the last Harvester here getting focused down as well. The refinery trying to get targeted down, the infantry trying to find an opportunity to engage, but they're going to only manage to pick off one of those Buzzer Hives. And now the infantry here from Cyberstorm trying to deal with the Devourer tanks. Oh my god! Oh my god, is he going to be able to do it? Does Cyberstorm... Oh my god, does Space have enough damage to actually take down the Hand of Nod? One more shot! Oh, so close! Oh my god, so close! 1/2 of an HP left on that Hand of Nod, and I think Cyberstorm has done it. I don't think Space has any way of sending units forward into this infantry swarm here from Cyberstorm to actually kill that Hand of Nod. Now the portal going to be under fire here from Space. He does still have that reactor back on the back lines, but I don't think it's going to matter too much. The infantry swarming in from the backside here. It's looking like the Buzzers are going to swarm forward here from Space. He's lost all of his infantry. He only has this portal left, and he's going to be relying on the Buzzer Hives to do the work for him. But Cyberstorm is just going to slowly push forward here. That's a lot of Buzzer Hives, though. And it looks like we do have bikes down on the bottom side of the map here for Cyberstorm, still alive. Going to be looking to clean up any additional infrastructure. He should be able to clean himself up a power plant down there. And I think Cyberstorm has managed to hold unbelievable 2 HP on this Hand of Nod, and he's going to walk away with this game. And Space, having that Tiberium Spike so critical in this game. So very critical in this game. But I don't know that it's going to matter here. He has sold up 3 of his Buzzer Hives as he realizes that he's low on power, and he's going to use this to spam out buzzers. He's trying to just commit to kill the Hand of Nod with buzzers. It's not going to be enough, though, as we see the repair tool ticking away on the Hand of Nod. So Cyberstorm using what little eco he has left to focus that down. But now the bike's going to be retaliating here and going to be dropping down the portal of Space, and that is going to be it. Cyberstorm comes through victorious in probably the most bizarre game I have ever seen. You know, that was certainly not the highest level game we've ever seen, but I have not seen a game come down that close in a while, where it was literally half I mean, 1 or 2 HP. I mean, if one disintegrator was out on the field, it would have taken 1 shot from that disintegrator to take down that Hand of Nod, which was the only building left for Cyberstorm, smurfing as that Smoke and Tiberium name here. So very strange game, to say the least. And let's take a quick look at the resources graph. I mean, take a look at this. Space having better eco here over the 8 to 9 minutes of the game, but you can see he's just flatlining out towards the end of the game. Doesn't actually completely flatline, as he did have that Tiberium Spike down on the bottom side, keeping just a tiny bit of eco in his favor, but not enough. But just showing you how trading effectively can be so important, because look at the eco difference here between Cyberstorm and Space. Let's take a look at the exact numbers here. 90,000, almost 91,000 here for Cyberstorm, 71,000 for Space, so a 20,000 credit difference, and Cyberstorm nearly lost that game. Very close. You can see the unit KD ratio really important there for Space. But again, I think Cyberstorm had that one wrapped up way earlier on in that game. I think he just made some decisions that just perhaps he was scratching his head a little bit later on, thinking that he could potentially camp it out and maybe win it by attrition, thinking that Space wasn't going to be able to continue to eco, but he had enough to continue to push forward, and with those Devourer tanks having such range, he was able to just continue to poke down infrastructure from a distance, safe from those infantry, and continuing to move forward with that MCV. Again, a very aggressive thing to do, a very scary thing to do, because if you get overwhelmed, then your MCV is gone, you have no more production left at home, it's pretty much a GG at that stage. So Space more or less going all in that game, nearly comes through victorious after almost 19 minutes in this game. So very, very interesting game, to say the least. Again, I wouldn't call it a Hall of Fame game, but it was definitely different, and nice to see Reaper 17 and Nod matchup, not something we see every day. But even so, that was a very unusual set of tactics from both sides, which we also don't see. So anyways, that's going to be it here for me today, folks. I hope you've all enjoyed the video. Be sure to let me know what you thought down in the comments, and if you enjoyed the game, be sure to head over to the link in the description over to gamereplays.org and give this replay a wub. I would say this one's wub-worthy, not necessarily because it was the craziest, best game, but definitely some different tactics that we saw here, and some very down-to-the-wire engagements. But anyways, that's it here for me today, folks. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you all next time.